really been on quite the little vlogging kick recently, but can you blame me? There's just so much happening, and I wanted to pick up the camera today especially because there are two very exciting, very bookish things that are going on. It is currently 8 AM and this morning is the $2 book fair. Every single year, Lifeline, the mental health organization, they throw around 5 book fairs where the proceeds just go to charity and the books are dirt cheap. Today's book fair is $2 per book. That is what we're doing this morning. That is the motivation behind me picking up this camera. I went to this book fair last year and when I tell you, I came home with 12 books. $24. There was no way I was going to be missing out on this one. So I am going to be making the drive over to this book fair. I'm not really looking for a book in particular, but whatever catches my eye, I will be taking it home. But the fun doesn't end there because this afternoon it is currently the Sydney Writers Festival and my friend and I are going to a panel on romantasy featuring some pretty good fantasy authors, including Trisha Levenseller, who wrote Daughter of the Pirate King. I read that when I was younger and I absolutely adored it. Sophie Clark, who wrote Cruel is the Light. I read that earlier this year as well and I thought it was so much fun. But before we leave, I almost forgot to tell you what I'm reading. This is an ARC, though by the time this video goes out it will be released. Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know how I managed to secure an ARC of this, but I'm so grateful. Thank you, Penguin. How beautiful is this cover? So much better than the US's cover. But yeah, let's go. It might come as a shock, and it certainly does to me, but I only ended up getting 4 books. So $8. I don't have a ton of space on my bookshelf, so I did really want to focus on only buying books that I genuinely, really badly do want to read. The first one I picked up was And the Mountains Echoed by Khaled Hosseini, and I've read his past works. I enjoy them very much. So beautifully written, so focused on especially like the female experience, the refugee experience. My favorite of his is A Thousand Splendid Suns. The next one I got is something that I've wanted to read for the longest time, Persuasion. I've never read Persuasion. I've started it many times, but I've never ended up finishing it. It's tiny, like surely I can finish it. Premise of this is what intrigues me the most. And then this is a bit of a different one. I got Portrait of a Spy by Danielle Silva. Spy stories, mystery stories, those were the sorts of things that actually got me into reading when I was a kid. And I also just watched Mission Impossible, so maybe that's why I'm feeling particularly like reading this right now. And the last one was a really random one that I picked up. It's called Bleak Expectations, which is obviously a spin on Great Expectations. Bleak Expectations is a novel like Charles Dickens might have written after far too much gin, and it's supposed to be hilarious. And you know I love a good laugh. I love something a bit silly, so those were the 4 that I picked up. The selection this year is not as good as it was last year. Last year there was everything there. There were like book talk books. I'm still really happy. Like being able to get books for $2 and have it go towards something good is a great privilege. So very happy. Back from the book fair, that was definitely less successful than I thought it would be, but that's okay. I also had to change because it is hot outside. I am so happy. It's been cold and rainy and now it's hot. And so it's the perfect day for me to head into the city for the Sydney Writers Festival. I got back from the Sydney Writers Festival and 2 authors that I really love are on that panel, and then there is a 3rd author whose works I had not heard of. I have read Trisha Levenseller, I've read Sophie Clark, those were the authors I know, but Quiche Chow, her books sound amazing, and there's a book coming out next year that I must have. So altogether it was a very productive time, and then my friend and I just walked around the city after, talked about books, about fanfic. That's really all for today. I didn't get very far into this book because obviously I could only really read on the bus. I'm just about this far in, but a fun fact about me is once when I was a kid I had a phase where I thought I would want to be an astronaut, so reading this, which takes place at NASA, or like they're training to become astronauts, like this is so much fun to me. And the way that Taylor Jenkins Reid writes, just amazing. Anyway, that's all that we're doing that's bookish for the day. But the video doesn't end here because I have something very interesting coming up in a couple of days. I promised you there would be another fun activity, and it's now a couple of days later. I spent this morning graduating. I've got my degrees officially now. The whole reason I picked up my camera today was because this evening I'm going with my book club to Harry Potter trivia night. I thought this would be a really good way to celebrate my graduation day, just finish off with some Harry Potter trivia. There's only a few of us coming, but I think we're gonna have an amazing night. I love trivia. I love Harry Potter even more, so that combined with my book club, like that's our little activity for today. I'm gonna bring you along for some dinner followed by some Harry Potter. Okay, I'm back from trivia. Guys, We crashed and burned. Actually, we didn't crash and burn because there were 9 people playing, but we came 6th. So it's a bit embarrassing. The questions were hard and our competition was good, so I'm not mad about this, but I had so much fun. Now, if the trivia had been book-based rather than film-based, I think we would have won. Anyway, that was such a fun thing to do and such a nice way to wrap up my graduation day. But there's more to come, so I'll see you tomorrow morning. Back again. Today I'm going book shopping. I don't know if I mentioned this yet, but yesterday there were 4 books that released in physical form. The Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillig, Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty, Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood, and Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. 4 books that I was dying to read. I got an arc of The Night in the Moth by Rachel Gillig. That was the video before this one, and it is such a good book, let me tell you. So I've already got that. Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford came out in ebook format last week. The physical copy released yesterday. I have of course read it. I have of course loved it. So I need to be picking that one up so that I can add it to my Windy City stack right here. Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This is an age gap brother's best friend set in Italy. I've really been enjoying Ali Hazelwood's new releases for the past 2 years. Definitely going to be getting that one later today. And then Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh, which I'm actually currently reading on my Kindle. I decided to read Releasing 10 first and then go to Problematic Summer Romance because I just know that this book is gonna break me. I am currently 56% of the way through Releasing 10. I was reading it during breakfast this morning and I'm telling you, I had to put my Kindle away because I felt like I was gonna be sick. I didn't think anything in the world could make me like Lizzie, especially after the way she treats everyone in the first 5 books of this series, but oh my god, no spoilers of course. This is actually quite confronting and it deals with a lot of the same subject matter that was in Gibbs's book, Taming Seven. It's really painful to read, genuinely. The other 2 books I want to get from the bookstore are not new releases, but they are books for a friend. But I want to get her one of the like blind date with a book kind of books, except I'll be making that book. The books are going to be Powerless by Lauren Roberts and Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, and these are 2 books I feel like she would really enjoy. So I'm going to buy those 2 books, wrap them in brown wrapping paper and write a vague description on the cover, and hopefully she likes it. You already know what I got, but I'm going to show you anyway. First I got Rewind It Back by Liz Tomforty. I got Releasing 10. Now, I actually did finish this. It's a lot later in the day. I finished reading it. Unfortunately, it was 2.5 stars. It wasn't excellent. I have a better review on my TikTok. And the last book I got for me was Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. Look at the cover. And then for my friend, she really likes romantasy at the moment. So I have picked up some romantasy books, of course, Powerless. I think she'll have a lot of fun with this. I think she'll love Kai especially. And then one of my favorites from this year was Enchantra, so I got her a copy of this one. She did say she likes Ready or Not, and this feels very much like Ready or Not meets romantasy. I know I probably should have gotten her Phantasma first, but I didn't like Phantasma. This is Powerless, this is Enchantra. I'll try to remember that. And I'm just going to write a little description for each of them, but one that doesn't give away the title of the book. Alright, this is Enchantra. I said Ready or Not, but it's a romantasy. And then I have a bunch of other descriptions just here. And then this is Powerless. I said a powerless girl from the slums faces deadly trials, which probably gives away the title. I wasn't thinking. I'm very proud of these and I hope my friend loves them. I know this was a lot shorter of a video than I usually do, but I'm going to stop it right here. But we have one more bookish thing to do. Unfortunately, I can't take you with me for this, but I have gotten invited to my first book influencer event. Hachette has invited me to come celebrate Teeny Page's upcoming release, which is The Other Brother. So I'm headed to their offices right now to go to an influencer event. I can't believe this. Thank you guys, and especially if you're from TikTok, thank you, because that is exactly how I first got involved with Hachette. This is insane. What is life? But thank you so much for spending another week with me, and I'll see you next week for our reading wrap up. Bye.